All right, we're all set today for a good old-fashioned nickel box hunt. Hey everybody, this is James and you're watching my channel, CAD Roll Hunter. Thanks for joining me. We got a box of nickels here. I got 50 rolls of Canadian nickels, all customer wrapped. Looks like the majority are in this clear plastic. We got a few paper rolls. We're just gonna dig in and see what we can find. Maybe we can get some low mintage, maybe some King George V, maybe King George VI. If you watched my recent video, I purchased this book. It had some coins in it. Of course, I went through and looked at everything that we got and took that stuff out. But what I'm hoping to do is that as we do my nickel hunts moving forward, we're gonna try to fill these spots. This is gonna be a bit tougher because this entire part of the book is all King George V. I have never found one in circulation. So I think that's going to be pretty tough. Maybe as we continue to do boxes, we'll find some good stuff. What I have found, of course, are some King George VI and some Elizabeth. This album only goes up to 1960, but we're going to see if we can fill as much of this as possible. Hopefully these 2 pages won't be tremendously difficult. This page is going to be exceptionally difficult, but we're going to keep looking, and you never know, because that's what coin roll hunting is all about. You just never know what you're going to find until you get into the rolls. So let's do that. Let's get into some rolls and see what we can find. We're just getting started in roll number 1, and we've got our first 60s nickel, 1968, and it's in pretty circulated condition. I don't usually set these aside, but I do have a special place for these ones, and that is the nickel jar. We're going to put that with a 1979. I found a few coins back. Roll number 2, we got our second 60s nickel. It's a 65. It's just 1 year off of the Laureate portrait. Another find for the nickel jar. Same roll, and we got a dandy here. This is a, I can see it because it was obverse facing, a 1957 US nickel. So that's an older one for sure. And we'll flip it, and that's in pretty good shape, I gotta say. And it looks like there's a Denver mint mark on there. That's a pretty good find in roll number 2. So this box, this could be a good one. We'll find out. Roll number 3, and we've got another American nickel. It's a newer one, you can see by the design. It's a 2011D. We'll put it here with our US finds. I just opened up roll number 4, and I can see that we're going to have an older nickel right here. I can see the 12-sided edge. All right, so I've laid it down, and oh yeah, okay. Well, it looks like we've got a chromium-plated steel nickel. We got King George, and it is a 1952. And this is the first one for our nickel album, so we're going to have something for our nickel album today, which is awesome. Same roll, and I grabbed a 1980. Just put it under the scope to see if it has any of the doubling on the date that you might see sort of along the bottom of these numbers. This one does not, so it's just going in the nickel jar. Roll number 5, and I just saw 2000, and I just flipped it over and found that it's got the P composition mark, which is a low mintage, significantly lower mintage than the regular 2000 with no P. So that's going in our finds over here on the board. Roll number 6, and I just opened this up, and we got a find in here because looks like we're going to have a dime. Well, I just pulled out that dime, and it is a 1979, and we'll add it to our board here as a find. Roll number 7, and we're going to have another American, and it's going to be a 2005. In this case, it's going to be a 2005 Philadelphia with the buffalo or the bison on the back. Roll number 9, and we got a 1968 here, and it's in actually really beautiful shape here. So somebody has kept this one out of circulation. You can still see some mint luster on this by the date there. Some scratches on the back, unfortunately, but it's not very well circulated. I'll put it on the board here. I won't put it right in the nickel cup. I don't know if I'll keep it necessarily, but we'll put it as a find for now. Roll number 11, we got a 1996, and we can put that under the scope there and see if it is the near or the far 6. This looks like it's the near 6. Particularly what I'm looking for is the one that has the die chip between the D and the 6, which this is not, but we'll keep looking for that. Roll number 12, we got another 2000, and when I flipped it over, it is another low mintage 2000P. And in case you're wondering, those are minted at less than 5 million. It wouldn't be uncommon for other years to be minted over 100 million. So significantly lower mintage than other nickels. Roll number 16, and we got a 1990, which means we can put it under the scope here and see if we've got the bare belly beaver. And we do not at all here. And there are different varieties of the bare belly. I found a bunch of them. I'll show a link up here to a video that I did recently where we found two. And there are different varieties. There are ones where there's a little bit of the bare belly showing, and other ones where a good chunk of this section is bare. This isn't it though, but definitely check out my video where I found two, which was pretty awesome. Roll 18, we got our 6th US nickel here, and it is a 1995p to add to the board. Same roll, we got another one. This one looks like it could be a little bit older. We'll find out here. And it is, it's a 1963, and it looks like it's in pretty decent shape too, so we'll add that to the board as well. Roll number 20, and look what we have here. We have a Centennial nickel with the rabbit on it. That's awesome. It's in pretty decent shape here. And that's a great find for the board here. Same roll, and we've got another American nickel. It's the Lewis and Clark from 2004. Just got to flip it over to see what the mint mark is. And it's a 2004p. Roll number 21, and we've got a cool dozen US nickels. We got a 2016D. That's really not uncommon in Canadian rolls because of our proximity to the United States. So we can kind of expect that. Sometimes you won't find any, and sometimes you'll get a whole bunch. We're at the halfway point of this box, and we have an ender here I didn't see until I just laid it down. It was a 1995 Denver. Roll number 26, and I could see it when I picked this roll up, but there is a 12-sided coin in here. We'll pull it out and see what it is. And it is a 1962 Laureate portrait with some scratches. But that's an early 60s Elizabeth, and we're going to put that on the board over here. And I've just put that under the scope because there is a double date you can look for on the 62, and there's clearly no doubling on this coin here. It would be pretty evident, but it's hard to tell. This is the kind of thing where a scope like this is really helpful because you couldn't really see that with the naked eye. So this is the little pluggable that I just got off of Amazon, and it does a really great job of being able to see up close and personal what's happening on your coins. Roll number 31, and we've just found our third 2000p low mintage of the box, which I've never come across before like this with more than one in a box, so that's pretty cool. Same roll, we got another 1968. We've had a few of these that are just going for the nickel jar, but right behind it we've got another older Jefferson nickel, and I haven't looked to see yet what it is, but it's not that old. It's a 1983 Denver. We're in roll 32, and I've pulled up, this is a 1990 that I pulled out of this roll just a few coins back, and it's definitely not the bare belly, but I wanted to bring this up just to compare to one I just found right now, and it's not the barest of bellies, but I think what we have here is just the smaller variety of the bare belly, the smallest variety probably. You can see a little bit of bareness over here and just a little bit over here. It's not significant, but this particular coin has a number of different varieties that basically start from the smallest example like this to where a big chunk of this section is actually bare. I'll put this one aside. I'm going to compare it to some of the other ones I have and see some photos online to verify that this is in fact the small variety of the bare belly, but I think it is. Last couple coins of roll number 44, and we got an oldie here. We got a King George VI here with a round edge. It's a 1942. That is awesome. Roll 35, and we got another Laureate portrait for the board. It's a 1964. This one, of course, we can look at for the extra water line, and I'll put it under the scope, and this is not it. You would see it's a die crack that actually comes right along the KG, the initials of the designer, to make it look like an extra water line. I still haven't found one yet, but I'm keeping my eyes open because they're probably out there. You never know. Roll number 36, and we're going to have at least a couple of finds here because I can see two 12-sided nickels right at the front here. Well, I'm in that roll, and just a couple coins in, we've got a 1980, which means that we can put it under the scope here to see if there's any doubling on the date, and there is not. So let's find out what we got in here. We have, a 1960, which means this is another one for our album. That's our third one. We'll put that over here in the finds. And then I think just the next one again is another 1960. Look at that. Awesome. We're in roll 41, and I just found this absolutely gorgeous 1971. It's not a key date, but it is in exceptional condition. This is pretty much in a mint state, I'd say. That is gorgeous. So normally a 71 would be destined for the nickel cup. Nope, this one is going to go right on the board here as a find. Same roll, and we're going to have a couple more finds here. So I can see this newer design American nickel, but in the back here, I can see a 12-sided nickel that I didn't notice when I laid it down. So first we'll take a look and see what this guy is. This is a 2015D. We'll add that to our stack, and then let's see what this one is that we didn't notice right away. Another 1960, our third 1960 in the last few rolls. Roll 43, and it looks like we're going to have a little vein of US nickels just in the middle here. I can see a whole bunch of them, so maybe we got something older. We'll find out. We got, to start us off, a 1981, looks like a Denver, and then couple more in 2015 Denver, and a couple more in again. Got a 1999 Denver and a 2000 Denver. Not in terrible shape. It doesn't look like there's any more else in there. We'll see. I can see we've got something at the back here that was really discolored, and it's just a 1993. I have no idea what somebody's done to that. That's toning in the extreme. This one might have been buried, or who knows. If you have an idea what you think happened to this coin, let me know, but pretty interesting. Roll number 44, we got another American nickel, and it looks like I can see a few others in the back here. I probably won't film them unless they're anything older or interesting. This one here happens to be a 1977 in pretty decent shape. I'll see if it upgrades in my own collection. Roll 45, and we've just found our fourth low mintage 2000p. Roll number 46, second coin in, and we just found ourselves another one for the album. This is a 1959 Laureate portrait. Got some scratches on it, but that's something we can throw in the album. We're on the last roll, roll number 50, and we've got one more US one that looks like it could be a bit older. And it is. It's a 1965 Philadelphia. Okay, well, that box has been hunted. 50 rolls of Canadian customer wrapped nickels. And we'll do a bit of a wrap up. Actually, this was a pretty good box, I have to say. So we ended up with 32 US nickels, including that 1957 in the front. I'll check that against my collection. We got a dime, so we're up 5 cents, which is pretty awesome. We got 4 key date 2000Ps in the one box. We got that 1990 that has the smallest of bare bellies, but I'll continue to check that. We got this beautiful 1971, a really nice 1968, and that 1967 Confederation with the rabbit on it. We got a 1964, not in great shape. It's the Laureate portrait, and it's not the extra water line, but we looked for that. We also found a 1962 and 3 1960 Laureate portraits. So we can choose the best one for our album. And we've got a 1959, as well as 2 King George VI, the 1952. That's the chrome-plated steel. And the oldest of the hunt was a 1942 King George VI. So a really great hunt overall, lots of fun. And we're going to just see what we can do to add our first coins to our album. Well, I've laid out the album here, and we've got 4 slots that we can fill in our first ever nickel hunt and album fill. We've got the 1960. I picked the best of the three to put here. We'll just pop it in. There we go. And this 1959. So we'll add that. We can use, this is a pretty decent obverse example that we can use for the obverse hole. And so we'll just pop it in the album there. We got that 1952, the chrome plated steel, and the oldest of the bunch, this 1942 King George VI. So we got a little bit of a start on the album. Of course, we didn't get any of the King George V, and I don't know if and when we'll get any of those. But that's a pretty good start. So I hope you enjoyed my video. Please give it a like. Please subscribe to my channel, CAD Roll Hunter, and take a look for my other videos. Thanks for joining me.